Good morning, everyone. Last week, the Tevye who played on Fiddler on the Roof on Broadway and on the film, Chaim Topol, passed away in Israel at the age of 87. And the Broadway show, Fiddler on the Roof, is so famous that ever since it opened in 1964, there isn't a day in over 50 years that it didn't play somewhere in the world. And the Fiddler on the Roof story, which is such a moving story, brings up the question of Tevye and his daughters. His daughters want to modernize, they want to assimilate, they want to change and live with the times. And Tevye says, no, we have traditions, we have to follow tradition, and that's what's most important. And this is the question that lives on till today. As Jews, do we just follow our traditions, our past, or can we change with the times? Can we find our own personal happiness and what makes us fulfilled rather than what worked for our ancestors? Well, there's an answer in this week's Torah reading. This week, in addition to the weekly Torah portion, we're going to read a special reading about the first commandment given to the Jewish people, which is HaChodesh, the commandment of Rosh Chodesh. And the question is, why is this the first commandment the Jewish people received? To follow the moon, this lunar calendar, and proclaim the new month. And the answer, Rabbi says, that the new month represents the idea of renewal. You see, the moon fades away, it wanes at the end of the month, and then it's reborn in the beginning of the month. And the very first commandment, God is teaching the Jewish people the secret to Jewish continuity. And that is, you can't just keep Judaism as something old, something in the past, something ancient. Tradition, just this is what was done, this is what we have to do. But we have to renew ourselves. And that's why it says, HaChodesh Hazeh, this power of renewal is lachem. It has to be personalized, it has to be your renewal. You have to own it. By having a strong Jewish foundation and Jewish education and learning Torah and understanding the beauty and the meaning to all of the commandments, we're not just doing it because our ancestors did it. We're doing it because it's our joy. It's our passion. It's our love. Yes, it's tradition. It's what our ancestors did for thousands of years. But it's also this power to renew it and make it your own. Lachem is in the ability of every person, by not just doing it because it was done in the past, but doing it because you've learned and understood and experienced the beauty of it, and now it became your choice to embrace it. And this is what is Judaism. Judaism is not living in the past. Judaism is living in the present, but being guided by the past, allowing the past to shape and inform our present and our future. And that is the message of the very first commandment. For Judaism to live, it needs to be fresh, it needs to be vibrant. And it can only be vibrant and fresh through learning and understanding and making our own personal choices. You know, kids in Florida and all over the country come to Florida for spring break. And there's a story about Rabbi Korf, who was the first Chabad rabbi to Miami Beach, and he heard about spring break. So he set up a booth with a tefillin, and he was encouraging young men at spring break at the various venues. He went to the special gathering places of young people where they celebrate spring break, and he was asking them to put on tefillin, but not too many kids were coming. So he put up a sign. This was back in the 70s. He put up a sign, free pot and LSD. Suddenly, throngs of kids came to his table. I said, where's the free pot and LSD? He said, well, it's actually an acronym. Free P-O-T, put on tefillin, and LSD, let's start davening. In every generation, people want what's new and exciting and, going to bring pleasure and joy. Judaism says understanding who you are, understanding your heritage could bring real joy, but not external joy, internal joy, the real meaningful, deep, and fulfilling joy. There's a story about this father who went fishing with his son, and the father caught a fish. When he took it off the hook, the fish was jumping up and down on the pavement. And the kid says to his father, Daddy, look how happy the fish is. The fish is dancing. Well, little did he know or understand that the fish wasn't dancing from joy. The fish was dancing because it was gasping for air. Sometimes you see kids on spring break in the clubs late at night taking alcohol or drugs, and it looks like they're so happy they're dancing. But Are they dancing from joy, or are they dancing because they're gasping for air, the oxygen of meaning and fulfillment in life? Yes, we could have our traditions and find the greatest joy and beauty and meaning in embracing them, not just because our ancestors did it, but because we've developed a personal relationship with God, with Judaism, with the Torah, and with the commandments. Have a wonderful day.